Hi, we here at NZ Survivors provide support and assistance for Kiwi home, workplace, business groups and schools. After a major event, you could be without power, water, toilets and cooking facilities for up to 3 days, and in some cases even longer. In this series of videos, we will introduce you to some of the equipment that NZ Survivor supplies. In this video, I will be demonstrating the NZ Survivor Sunflair solar oven. This is the NZ Survivor Sunflair solar oven. It cooks using UV rays from the sun. The meals are delicious and nutritious. Most meals cook between 1 to 4 hours. 80 degrees Celsius is best for raw meat. For instance, chicken will cook at this temperature in approximately 3 to 4 hours. Treat as a slow cooker, and remember to thaw meat first before placing it in the oven. So this is the oven in a compact bag. We'll open it up. This is the oven itself. Clear cover on the front. Aluminium lined interior. The materials are non-toxic and are food grade. Basically all you do is close the Velcro. Closes it. These side flaps here are for stability. A rock or a heavy item can be placed inside this flap on the sides to hold it down in windy weather. Also, there are 2 racks. Very strong and sturdy, folding legs, and they stack like that. These are used for keeping the food off the base of the cooker, to let the heat circulate around, and also for placing fruit and so forth on top for dehydrating. We'll talk about that later. Also, this is tray. There's a heat conducting tray, non-stick. You place everything on this, always use the tray. The only time you don't use the tray is when you're dehydrating food. This conducts heat through to what you're cooking, so place your pans and food directly onto that. Ideal as a baking tray, as I say, non-stick. There's 2 of those there. Now you also get these silicone cookware pots. There's 2 of those. They fold out. That and the lid on top. Also food grade, non-toxic, very safe to use. Very thin, heat just goes straight through it, and always cook with the lids on. You also get this casserole pot. Now this is a graniteware pot. It's non-stick. Great for larger items like chickens, stews, soups, etc. Same again, always use the lid. The other pot. And this here is your thermometer, designed specifically for solar cooking. It's colour coded to give you an idea of what's the optimum for whichever item you're cooking. So, stainless steel body, very well made. Now it also comes with a water pasteurisation kit, which I'll show you in a moment. Okay, this is the water pasteurisation indicator, or warning. Place it in the middle of a container of water, in the middle of the oven, and once the water temperature has reached 65 degrees Celsius, the wax inside melts, and it takes approximately 10 minutes for the wax to travel from one end of the tube to the other, and in that time the water is pasteurised. You don't need to boil it, an urban myth. So once it's pasteurised, it's safe to drink. It will destroy E. coli and Giardia. It won't remove or kill any heavy metals or chemicals or oils that are in the water, but quite a nifty device. The water pasteurisation indicator. Okay, so how to use the NZ Survivor Sunflair solar cooker. Once you've assembled the cooker, place the zip at the bottom. Get one of the racks. Place it inside. So, always use the oven tray. Place that in the middle. Get your thermometer. Place that in the middle as well. Zip it up. And there you have it. Always point directly at the sun. So at the moment the sun is coming from this direction. So you rotate it so it's facing the sun. Use the shadow at the back as an indicator. So always keep that in parallel with the cooker. In midday, because the sun is at its zenith, place something at the front to tip it forward a bit. As I say, ideal cooking is done on a cloudless day. The odd passing cloud is okay, but really, if it's cloudy, it's not much point cooking. Temperature range has to be approximately 65 degrees plus. Cooking chicken, etc., starting at a minimum of 80 degrees Celsius. Chicken in particular, you have to be very cautious of with pathogens, etc. So make sure that you've got your temperatures right. As I say, use the thermometer to get the temperatures exactly where you are for what you want to cook. For dehydrating food, which is very popular with this oven, we'll remove all of that. And straight away, that is really hot. And the time it's been in here, it's reading about 45 degrees Celsius in that short amount of time in the sun. With dehydrating food, place the oven upside down. And remember, no oven tray. Place the rack in the oven, in the middle, or the second rack. You can use up to 3 racks in a tier like that. Now because you're dehydrating the food, there's a lot of moisture coming off out of the fruit. So only close the zip approximately halfway. Ideally, you want the temperature to be between 55 and 77 degrees Celsius. Now, treat this as a conventional oven in regards to its heat. It really does crank up the heat. So always use oven cloths or mitts, and yeah, just treat it as a hot oven because you will get burned. Now, the benefits of this oven. Well, it saves money. There's no fuel to buy. There's no charcoal. There's no fuels, no firelighters. And because there's none of that, it's safe to use. There's no carcinogens from charred food. It's eco-friendly, it's healthier, and it's nutritious, and the food is delicious. UV cooking locks the food and the moisture into the food because it cooks differently from a conventional oven, which dries the air, heats the air around the food, and therefore drying out whatever you're cooking. So food is really delicious coming out of this oven. It's safe to use. You can leave it unattended because it won't burn the food. It's lightweight and it's easy to carry, coming in a small pouch. Importantly, it's ideal for emergency situations. If there's a power outage, this is your go-to oven really, unless you've got gas, but as I say, safer and easier to use. So in an emergency situation, highly recommended. Now hints, on a windy day, lock the sides down, Wind will affect the temperature, so put in a sheltered area, but make sure that there's no shadows, as I say, shadows will reduce its temperature. On the way to control the heat is with a zip. Pinch the sides and fold them under. Retains maximum heat. Small holes in the side there. So to regulate the heat a little bit, if it's getting too hot, either turn away from the sun or open up the zip a bit. But just monitor the temperature gauge inside. It's cool on the outside, so they're again very safe to use. Always use the lids on the pots. The idea is to retain the heat as much as possible. So yeah, always use the lids. Also, wipe moisture away from the front, as I've mentioned. That reduces the temperature. If you want to reduce the temperature as well, point away from the sun. To get the most effect from the sun, approximately every half hour to 45 minutes, just follow the shadow around so you're keeping it in direct line with the sun. As I say, between 10 AM and 2 PM are optimum times of the day for cooking. As I said before, at midday you can tip it back a little bit to get most of the sun, which is at the zenith. But yeah, very great piece of kit. Wonderful to use, very safe, very easy. As I say, very portable, wonderful in an emergency. So yeah, keep one on hand. Right, so this is the NZ Survivor Sunflair solar oven in use. There's a chicken in there which has been cooking for nearly 2 hours. External temperature is probably about 18 degrees Celsius at the moment. The temperature inside the oven is probably about 95 degrees Celsius. Okay, well that's about 4 hours the chicken has been in. Average temperature outside about 20 degrees Celsius, inside 80 degrees Celsius. Optimum UV index is 4 and we've had 5, so we're well within where we're supposed to be. A little bit of wind, a little bit of cloud, but yeah, so a bit of everything. So we'll take these rocks out which we were using to hold down with the wind. And I'll unzip it. Now, as I said before, remember everything that's going to be hot because it is in a real oven. So we'll take everything out. Take that tray out of there. Smelling good. Smelling really good. Okay. Juices are running clear. I think we'll start cutting it up. Looking good. Not pink at all. There you go, Ricky. Thank you, Mark. Bon appetit, as they say. Awesome. Cheers. Tastes good to me. Thank you for watching. And you've got to buy one of these. Great piece of kit. Perfect.